Hello everyone, I'm Alex Mox, and with Racine County weather, today is day 2 of Wisconsin's Tornado and Severe Weather Awareness Week. So today we will be discussing severe thunderstorms, straight line winds in severe thunderstorms, and flash flooding. First, let's take a look at what qualifies a thunderstorm to be considered severe. A thunderstorm can be considered severe if it has winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, hailstones with 1-inch diameter or greater, a tornado associated with it. This can either be detected by Doppler radar or observed. In this case, a tornado warning would be issued. Or it can also be considered severe if flash flooding is occurring, in which case, again, a flash flood warning would be issued. Do note that the National Weather Service does not use lightning to determine whether or not a thunderstorm is severe. So even if a storm does have frequent lightning, it may not be considered severe. One of the biggest things that I have seen people get confused about during severe weather season is the difference between a watch and a warning. So let's take a look at the difference between a severe thunderstorm watch and a severe thunderstorm warning. A severe thunderstorm watch will typically be issued 2 to 6 hours or so prior to when the event, when severe thunderstorms are expected to potentially impact an area. And this is issued, again, thinking that severe thunderstorms might impact us. This will be issued by the Storm Prediction Center, typically for a relatively large area. And do be prepared once this watch is issued to seek shelter in the event that a severe thunderstorm warning is issued. When a watch is issued, you do not need to take shelter. You just need to be watching for conditions to develop. However, when a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, that is when you should take shelter immediately. A severe thunderstorm warning is issued when a severe thunderstorm is occurring in an area or is imminent. Again, that would be wind gusts in excess of 58 miles an hour or hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger. This will be issued by the National Weather Service for probably only one to a few counties, possibly even just a portion of a county. This will be issued up to an hour in advance, but it could have no lead time whatsoever, so do be aware once that watch is issued that warnings could be issued. Again, the best way that you can distinguish between a watch and a warning, a watch is issued when you should be watching for events to develop, for the weather to develop, and a warning is issued when you are being warned that right now you need to take shelter. Let's take a look a little specifically at damaging winds in severe thunderstorms. There are a couple different ways in which we can see damaging winds. We have downbursts that we typically see in severe thunderstorms across our area. Downbursts do have the potential of giving us winds in excess of 100 miles per hour. While it doesn't happen very often, it certainly is not out of the question that we could see a downburst that could bring us winds that strong. You also have derechos. That is a type of storm system where essentially a few storm systems are merging together. You'll see typically it's a big line of storms. That is where you have a derecho. In this case, you can also see some weak tornadoes forming from this, but typically it just gives us a lot of straight line winds and can be a very dangerous situation. So if you see that developing, that is definitely when you would like to take shelter. Now do keep in mind that the damaging winds, just straight line winds, can have the damage of a tornado, and therefore it is very important to seek shelter during a severe wind event. Sometimes it's difficult for people to determine whether it was a tornado or a severe wind event because the damage can be very similar. We do have the National Weather Service, after severe weather events, come out to survey the area to determine whether that was a tornado or straight line winds. But basically, do be aware that the damaging wind events can have as much damage, if not even more at times, than a tornado would, so it's definitely something that should not be taken lightly. Taking a look at flash flooding, this was very interesting to me to find out that flash flooding is the #1 weather killer in Wisconsin. More people die of flash flooding than any other type of weather disaster in the state of Wisconsin every year. This flash flooding can be caused due to high rainfall rates. It can also be caused due to a break of a dam or due to ice jams during the thawing season. This can impact an area with little to no warning, and the biggest thing that we can tell you to survive a flash flooding event is to turn around, don't drown. Again, taking a look at the difference between a watch and a warning, a flash flood watch will be issued up to days in advance of flash flooding. Potentially a couple days in advance, the National Weather Service will be issuing a flash flood watch, probably for a relatively large area. During this time, you should be prepared to take immediate action should a flash flood occur. And now when a flash flood warning is issued, that is when a flash flood is occurring or is imminent to an area. It's issued by the National Weather Service typically for a relatively small area. However, these warnings can last for several hours in comparison to severe thunderstorm warnings, which will probably not last much longer than 1 hour. During this time, you want to be sure you are moving to a higher ground immediately if your area is prone to seeing flash flooding events, and be sure to turn around and don't drown. It only takes 6 inches of water to sweep a vehicle away, and especially at night it can be very, very difficult to tell how deep water is in an area. So it is better to be safe than to be mistaken for how deep the water is and be swept away. It is very, very difficult to escape these situations if you are swept away by a flash flooding event. This concludes the Day 2 video for Tornado and Severe Weather Awareness Week. Day 3's topics tomorrow will be about tornado basics and the most common tornado myths. Thank you for listening.